everywhere at the University of Pittsburgh, as the undefeated Panthers are ranked second in the nation in the latest coaches poll. Tonight, the challenge will come from about 2 miles away, as Aaron Gray and his sidekick Levon Kendall lead Pitt against Duquesne. It's the annual city game from Pittsburgh. It's a college basketball rivalry that goes back to 1932. The Dukes of Duquesne, the Panthers of Pitt meet tonight in the 75th annual city game, and we're happy to have all of you with us tonight in the Peterson Event Center along with Bob Wenzel. I'm John Sanders. You look at this veteran Panther team, they've got the big man, one of the best in the country, and every time you talk about Pitt, you have to start by talking about Aaron Gray.
You are right, John. Aaron Gray, 7'1", 275 pounds. He is the hub of the Pittsburgh offense, and they are number 2 in the nation. He gets easy baskets. He positions himself in the paint before he gets the ball so that the finishes are relatively easy for a guy with his hands and bulk. They look for him all the time, can face up and make the sweet jumpers from the baseline, and always finishing in the break. Aaron Gray, big-time All-American.
When you look at his numbers, they are terrific. He was the preseason pick as the Player of the Year, All-Big East team, Wooden Award, All-America candidate, you name it. He's up for all the honors. Completely different story for a very young Duquesne team, a team that had 4 seniors, 5 others transfer. They brought back only 1 letter winner from last year, and freshmen are leading the way for Duquesne.
And that is trouble when freshmen are leading the way. Both of these freshmen, solid players, though, Grody and Mitchell. Grody, only 6'6". He is kin to the Grody who played at Michigan in the Final Four in 1976, and Mitchell averaging 18 points a game. They're carrying the scoring load, but that's not what you want for your team when you have freshmen running the show.
Well, for the first time in their school history, they had 3 freshmen in the starting lineup for the first game, but they've been bouncing them around. They've had 4 different starting lineups in 6 games. Who's going to start tonight? We'll find out when we come back to Pittsburgh. Tonight's Big East game is brought to you by Hyundai, with quality that lets them offer America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. And by Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest. We are inside the Peterson Event Center tonight, a matchup of the Atlantic 10 and the Big East. Of course, these 2 teams have been playing for a long time, Bob, and at one time they were both in the same conference. Take a look at the starting lineups for both of these teams tonight. And the second time the Duquesne Dukes have had this lineup of Jackson, Wood, Tucker, Mitchell, and Grody. And you can see 3 of them are freshmen. They've used 4 different lineups. It is a veteran lineup. The transfer Cook, Graves the senior, Fields the sophomore, Kendall the 5th-year senior, and Aaron Gray the senior. Head coach of the Dukes is Ron Everhart in his first season at the helm. And I tell you, you talk about having to do a makeover job. He had to build his entire team, basically.
He signed more players than anybody in the history of college basketball in a 3-month period when he got the job. Only 1 player, Aaron Jackson, last year played much on this team at all. So all of these players knew a combination of JCs and freshmen.
A different story, though, for Jamie Dixon, whose Panthers are off to another great start. They're 8-0. He's 84-22. And against non-conference teams, only 1 loss in his tenure. He's never lost a game in this month of December.
It's unbelievable. His start, and when you think about he and Howland as a team, they're coaching the number 1 and 2 teams in the country.
Here's our Star Watch. We'll be following the play of a couple of guards, Aaron Jackson and Levance Fields. You see some of their numbers coming in. Our referee tonight is Pat Driscoll. Jeff Clark and Ray Perrone are the umpires. It goes all the way back to 1932, and the Panthers have won 24 of 27 and 5 in a row. And that's been a problem for Duquesne. When they come up against a big man, they're not very big, and they tend to struggle.
No, they're trouble. John, incidentally, were you calling those games when they were playing in 1932?
You probably think so, don't you?
Grody on Gray. That's where you're going to go.
From outside, the 3-point shot is in the basket.
When you talk, John, about somebody being the hub of an offense, there Gray gets the ball inside, demands a double team. Somebody's open. He's a good passer, finds him. Wide open shot for Graves.
Well, the Panthers draw first blood. Mitchell gets inside and draws a foul. That's going to go on Levon Kendall.
Mitchell, although he is a freshman, has had over 20 in 3 games this year for the Dukes. Very proficient scorer. The skinniest legs of any guy in Division I basketball.
6'6", 175 pounds. He's from Brooklyn, and he gets his team on the board. He's a good foul shooter, too. That's 13 out of 16 for him for the season.
Also shoots 53% from the field and from three-point range. So he is a scoring machine. When he adds bulk, he's going to be one heck of a player for Duquesne. Ron Everhart has been the coach of the year in every league he's been in, at McNeese State and then at Northeastern. One would expect the same here as he gets this program going.
Gray hands the ball to Levance Field. Brody jumps out on him. Now Cook. And they had the low pass for a minute. Fields will shoot a 3, and he buries that one. Well, they've already made as many three-pointers in the first couple of minutes as they did the entire game against Robert Morris a week ago.
What were they, 2 of 17 or something like that in that game? Yeah.
You're right. And Fields with a rebound. Panthers leading by 4. Cook down the lane, kicks it back out to Kendall. He'll shoot a 2, and he buries that one. So the Panthers are 3 for 3.
3 possessions, 8 points. That's hard to do.
Not if you shoot three-pointers, it's not. Which is what they did very well against Florida State. And then they came up against Robert Morris, and they couldn't buy a three-pointer.
Duquesne is tiny, aren't they? Boys, sitting watching them out here. They
Mitchell
are so undermanned size-wise.
Out of bounds. Gray got to the rebound, but stepped out of bounds. Mitchell missed the rim. 8-2. Just a couple minutes gone.
I was talking to Orlando Antigua before the game, John, and he told me that Aaron Gray was a little green, feeling a little flu symptoms at the shoot-around today.
Well, he's had his share of problems. He had the stitches problem, and he got hit in the face.
Yeah, UMass game, right?
Shot clock is at 5. Wood, they still don't shoot. They're going to have to shoot. They forgot about the clock. And finally, a long 3 at the buzzer by Aaron Jackson. He does a terrific job there. But that's just his 3rd three-pointer of the year, 3 for 14.
Yeah, that's not a great percentage, but when you have to, you have to. What Duquesne has to do in this game, obviously, John, is that they're at such a size differential. At the offensive end, they've got to spread it out. At the defensive end, there's not a lot they can do. You're witnessing an overpowering team against a team that is not only small, but young as well.
Well, 4 of the Panthers have already scored in this game. The foul was on Wood.
Terrific pass by Graves. Pittsburgh averages 21 assists per game. That is big time.
And right into the hands of Cook. And he'll put it back in. So all 5 starters have already scored for the Panthers in this game, and they open up a quick 7-point lead.
Watch 5 guys on the perimeter for Duquesne. They'll move the ball around, try to use a little clock, and then go one-on-one. They cannot get the ball inside with any effectiveness by passing. They've got to drive like that.
Brody gets inside, but you take away the basket because he's charged with an offensive foul. So Scott Grody, the freshman from Ohio, picks up his first foul. And we'll have substitutions coming into the lineup. Checking in is Kieran Achara. And Achara is a guy that really has been plagued by injuries. Hurt his shoulder last year, missed most of the season. He's had a stress fracture. This is the first game he's played in this year.
He's only been in 2 practices, John. 2 days ago he practiced for an hour, and yesterday he practiced for an hour. He's had a lot of hard luck.
And they figure he'll only play about 5 minutes. Cook gets low. The first miss for the Panthers. He follows his own shot and a chance to go to the line for a 3-point play. Basket counts, and the foul is on Aaron Jackson, his first.
Cook, the transfer from East Carolina, a terrific mid-sized scorer for this team. A guy who can go one-on-one, has power, has jump, and right here shows some athleticism.
Well, Tucker will sit down.
Cook, one of 3 players for Pittsburgh averaging in double figures, obviously Gray, but Cook averaging 11. And Antonio Graves averaging about 11.
And a quick 10-point lead for Pitt. It's 15-5. Into the lineup now is Reggie Jackson, a junior college transfer. I tell you what, he just packed up a big truck someplace and went out and got players, didn't he? I mean,
he did, and he hustled like crazy. It was a tough thing for Everhart and his staff to try to even assemble a team for this year.
And then, of course, they have the disastrous events of the 17th of September. Mitchell for 3 comes up short. Gray has the rebound. in front of Achara when the 5 players were shot. And we'll talk more about that as the evening goes along, because Pitt has responded in a very positive manner to that very difficult situation for Duquesne. Here's Gray.
And happily, players all recovering nicely.
Oh, nice spin move, but he missed the shot. Scramble for the rebound, and that's going to be a foul on Aaron Gray. A little frustration foul there. That'll be number 1. So each of the big men, Kendall and Gray, has a foul. We'll see who's the first to sit, because normally when you pick up the first in that duo, one of you is going to go to the bench.
And Biggs would replace him right here. You called it correctly, a frustration over the back. That guy must be blocked out, whether you're Duquesne or any other team. 7'1" Aaron Gray has some ability on the offensive boards. Pittsburgh is a great defensive team. They challenge shots very, very well.
And they come up with a steal. Chiro has checked into the lineup, and he's fouled by Kieran Achara. That'll be number 1 on him. First game for him this year. He missed most of last year with that shoulder injury. It's Pitt by 10. 1 week ago, the Panthers were 2 for 17 shooting 3-pointers against Robert Morris, now against another crosstown rival. They've already made 2 3-pointers.
Well, when you get wide open on the first play of the game because of double teams, you're a major college player. You ought to be able to make that. And that is not a hard one either for Fields. Pretty much wide open on that one. Fields not known for his 3-point shooting, more of a playmaker, a great assist man.
That is his 8th 3-pointer of the season, 8 for 28. And right now, each of the big men has 1 foul, and he stays with them. Another 3-pointer. That one's too strong, and a good position for the rebound is Aaron Jackson. He'll hustle back, kicks it to the corner. Wood working it down low. Achara back down inside. Left-hand move and a rebound by Fields. The shot was taken by Chiro. Mimi Chiro
from Mali in West Africa. That shot looked like it was from West Africa. It barely drew iron on that one.
You know, he's already a graduate student, and he played at Memphis. Kendall, no place to go. Here comes Graves. Cook will launch a 3. Rattles out. Tipped into the hands of Achara. Back come the Dukes. Duquesne's last victory in this series was in December of 2000. The Panthers have won the last 5. They have only 1 field goal so far tonight, a 3-pointer. Down the lane, a nice drive and finish that time by Jackson. He's got 5 of the 7 points.
That was well done by Duquesne right now. Chiro stayed at the high post, kind of like a Princeton setup. The basket area clear for drives. That's one way to take the big men out of the game at that offensive end.
Gray reverses, and the nice feed to Kendall. He missed the shot, but Achara picks up his 2nd foul. We expected Kieran Achara maybe to play 5 minutes tonight. Obviously, he's not at full strength.
No, and he can't be. Watch the passing of Pittsburgh. Wide open play. He's double teamed. Pass, touch. This is the one that Kendall needs to finish right there, though. Strong, got fouled hard, but you want a 3-point play on that kind of a situation as much as you can.
Well, the problem for the Panthers at Auburn was the fact they couldn't finish them off, couldn't make their field goals. There's the good drive at the other end by the Dukes.
And you notice no one underneath the basket. Aaron Gray guarding the high post, so he's not there to help at the defensive end. A nice strategic move by Ron Everhart. Jackson.
Ramon, Benjamin, Biggs into the lineup, and sitting for the first time tonight is Aaron Gray, as Kendall's number 2 attempt is good. I mentioned the Panthers really struggled shooting their free throws down the stretch at Auburn, but still managed to win their first road game of the year.
They do it with defensive rebounding. They out-rebounded Auburn down there. Good Southeastern Conference team. Notice the big guy away from the basket. Gray is out. Kendall, the biggest player in the game right now for Pitt.
Reggie Jackson launches one from the foul line. Kendall the rebound. Here come the Panthers. Leading by 10. Benjamin. Drive by Levon Kendall, and he's fouled on the way in.
John, something interesting about the scoring for Pittsburgh. They almost have a 3-tiered scoring. The first 3 guys are in double figures, and then they have 5 players that score around 5 or 6 points a game, and Ramon is sort of in the middle. You know, he's their best 3-point shooter, inbounding the ball right here. He averages 9 a game. So it's very interesting balance by Pittsburgh at the offensive end.
All the way across to Benjamin. Out of the hands of Biggs. The Panthers are reset. Still 25 on the shot clock. That's 6.5 minutes gone in the opening half, and the Panthers comfortably in front. Ramon launches a three, and it banks it in.
He's not smiling, John. He must have calculated that bank shot.
Well, he's 20 out of 35. He's a very good three-point shooter.
He's the best in the league. There is one player, Williamson, ahead of him in the Big East statistics right now, but he's only taken 12 on the year. Ramon has taken 35.
All of a sudden, a 13-point lead, and the ball sails out of bounds. The Panthers are up, and they will go now to Sam Young.
Interestingly enough, when I read the box score of the game the other day, and Sam Young did not play very much, I was wondering why. And then you told me that you interviewed Jamie Dixon, and he said that it was unintentional on his part.
Yeah, he felt he kind of shortchanged him.
Yeah.
He said, I should have played him more. And he said, I'll rectify that. That was a desperation shot that did not draw iron. So the shot clock violation turns it back to the Panthers. Biggs will inbound to Ramon. 20-7, Pittsburgh on top. Ranked number 2 in the country.
Duquesne is in a very interesting situation this year with Everhart coming in. We've outlined it. There's only 2 players back that were on the team at all last year. Aaron Jackson, the only one who played. So right now they have no size and no experience.
But they do have some experience sitting and waiting.
That's right. Sean James from Northeastern transfer, led the nation in blocks last year. He will be their center next season.
And the other one is Kojo Mensah. And those were also 2 of the players who were shot in that terrible incident after a dance on the campus. Ramon penetrates, and a nice dish. And Biggs got too far into the basket. He smiles. They couldn't get it up to the basket.
I think Biggs felt for a moment that he might have had his shot blocked by somebody small. At this end, the big block by Terrell, and he's in the paint whenever Kendall or Gray are out. Biggs is in. 3-man rotation at the 4 and 5 spots for Pittsburgh. He's the second man back on that one.
Biggs has had his success in limited appearances at the foul line. Gets 2 there.
His best game scoring this year, he had 11 twice. He can make some shots from the perimeter. Oh!
Panthers up now by 15. They're on a 14-2 run. Make it 16-2. Another great pass.
Pittsburgh noted for their unselfishness in passing, and they're getting blocked shots in this one. Biggs had one, and then Sam Young. Both of those guys, especially Young, an explosive leaper. Biggs was not last year, but has lost about 20 pounds. Gets off his feet a lot better this year than he did last.
Well, again, good passing sets this whole thing up, and it starts at one end and comes back to the other.
Well, Young blocked that with his left hand, and Brody went down, felt he was fouled, but no way, and just run out. And an excellent pass.
He almost walked with that ball, you know, when he took that extra jump.
Love the bounce pass in that situation, too, you know. Air pass could get deflected.
Gray checks back in as Kendall sits down. And that's one thing that Jamie Dixon is very careful about, Bob. He will try to control the minutes and the fouls of those 2 guys.
Exactly, and he's got to do that thinking ahead to the Big East, too, because they're going to face a lot of teams with good size in the conference, of course. Connecticut with great size.
The Panthers' next game will be at Buffalo on Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Chiro, that's a 3, and it's good. That's his second 3-pointer of the year. He's 2 for 7. So the big man, not afraid to go outside. He's about as big as they've got at 6'9".
And he only plays about 15 minutes a game. Kind of a player who does not have a great deal of experience. You mentioned he's a graduate student, and he was at Memphis and transferred, but did not play at all when he was there at Memphis.
Well, we have a timeout with 11:21 to play. We're still in the first half. The Panthers have been up by as many as 17. They're up by 14 right now as we take a break. Pitt running and scoring. 24-10 is the score. The shooting after a school dance on the campus at Duquesne took place on the 17th, and there are 3 of the players. There's all 4 of the players who are not playing right now. Sean James, Kojo Mensah, Stuart Baldonado, and Sam Ashalou. And the one who is playing is Aaron Jackson. The Oakland Zoo, days after the shooting, sent a letter to the head coach and to Duquesne expressing their support. And they got a letter back from Ron Eberhardt thanking them for thinking of them during the tragedy. And even tonight, I don't know if you noticed or not, if you were watching the beginning, we have on our red ribbons, and the Oakland Zoo wearing red ribbons to honor them and trying to be on their best behavior tonight.
It's great to see that kind of sportsmanship and concern. These schools only 2 miles away from one another. Players play against each other in the summertime. They know one another. So a great indication by the Oakland Zoo, the student section here, as well as both universities. Nice to see that.
And we mentioned the Oakland Zoo. So far, they're being very mild-mannered, and there are the ribbons that they're all wearing to honor those players who were shot. Panthers already in the 1-1, leading by 14. Here's Mitchell with those thin legs, and a reach-in foul on Young. That'll be number 1 on Sam.
Duquesne is coming out in different sets. Ron Eberhardt deciding to change sets, but the concept is always the same, John. Keep the floor spread. Try to isolate your smaller players against bigger players and use the dribble to go by them. That's really the only thing he can do. There's no power game right here. Try to keep the area clear. So far, Pittsburgh doing a very good job on Grody, this player with the basketball, and also on Mitchell.
And a miss that's too strong. It goes into the arms of Ramon. Ron Eberhardt, you mentioned, coached at Northeastern, got them to the NIT, and also at McNeese State, an NIT bid. And as you mentioned, coach of the year in both of those conferences. Aaron Gray, little jump hook and good.
Ooh, nice. And if you're wondering, McNeese State is in the state of Louisiana.
And Northeastern is in the state of Massachusetts.
There you go. Love those geography lessons.
Mitchell with it. The lead is 16.
Junior college player handling the basketball. Southern Union, freshman. Junior college player. Both of those little guys played together at Southern Union in Alabama. Notice the spread floor.
And the shot clock at 5. Mitchell's fade away from the foul line, bending off, and Biggs has the rebound. Stolen away, though, by Grody. So a fresh clock for the Dukes.
And they want to use that clock too, John, as much as they can. The fewer possessions, the better for them.
Reggie Jackson, nice pull-up, but it won't go. It rattled, but wouldn't fall. Ramon starts back for Pittsburgh.
What's impressive to me about Pittsburgh in this game so far is their patience at this end. Offensively, they're not trying to rush, taking good shots.
That's a 2.
Biggs' outside game has impressed me this year in the 3 games I've seen him play. He really is an accurate shooter from mid-distance. Last year, that was not part of his game.
They have the biggest lead of the half. It's tipped out of bounds and belongs to Duquesne. It's an 18-point Pittsburgh lead. Last year's game was at the Palumbo Center. And Pittsburgh won that game 71-60. Krauser had 24. McAllister, one of the seniors who graduated, led Duquesne with 18. You mentioned they lost 4 seniors, and then 5 players said, I'm leaving. Yeah. They transferred after a 3-win season.
That's tough when you have only 3 wins. Test your patience.
Race for the ball. Young wins it and jams it. Well, 7 different Panthers now have scored as they open up a 20-point lead. They're just so athletic.
And Young, the most athletic of all of the Panthers. Quickness, speed, leaping ability.
Achar with a left-hand shot that goes.
Well, that's what they need right there. Achara, 6'10" player, as we mentioned, has not practiced at all, but for 2 days, all kinds of injuries for that man.
Well, I'd say he's already played more minutes than they probably expected him to.
Yep.
There's a baseline jumper, and I tell you what, Tyrell Biggs is on a roll. He's got 8 points already to lead the scoring. 8 different Panthers have numbers in the scorebook. Tucker backs away. This is Grody. We're at the Peterson Event Center on the campus of the University of Pittsburgh with 8 minutes to go in the first half and a 20-point lead for number 2 Pittsburgh. That one won't go. There's Ramon sneaking inside for the rebound. I'm John Sanders along with Bob Wenzel. Glad to have you with us tonight. Ramon takes it all the way to the foul line. Biggs is off to a good start. He's 3 for 3 from the field, 2 for 2 from the line. Young, here he comes. All the way to the basket. Left hand, tip up, no good. Gray was right there to put it back, couldn't do it. On the break, Tucker feeds it off, and that's a blocking foul. And I think that was probably the right call. They went on Ronald Ramon, who was giving and trying to get in position to take the charge. It'll take us to a break.
Does not like it.
7:34 to play. And the Panthers, the athleticism of Young and a stump. College basketball, the city game from the University of Pittsburgh campus, the Peterson Event Center. A late start to this ball game, but a good crowd. They're sold out for every game, over 12,000 in the house. And the Panthers are really having it all their way right now. 2 guys off the bench with a couple of dunks, huh?
They're blocking shots and they're running the floor, John.
Here is our Big East leaders. It's brought to you by Hyundai. You see the leaders in field goal percentage. Aaron Gray is right there with them.
He really is. Herbert Hill at Providence and David Patchett at Louisville. Dante Cunningham at Villanova. And, of course, Curtis Sumter is back now for Villanova, one of the leading scorers in the country. Sat out last year, if you remember.
Here's Grody with it. Now to Wood. Looked low. Knocked away. Levon Kendall got a piece of that one. Levance Fields stops at the top of the circle. Aaron Gray on the bench right now. Ramon a 3, too strong. And the rebound ripped out of there by Grody. Grody has not scored. He's averaging 15 a game. Wood for 3. Yes, sir.
The quick shot in transition is not a bad play when you're the underdog, John, because what happens is Pittsburgh's defense in the half court is stellar, one of the best in the country. And if you can get a good clean shot before they set up defensively, it's wise to take it. After that, however, use of the clock would be a wise idea for Duquesne.
Here comes Fields. Back to Biggs. He's had a good first half. Levon Kendall from Canada. Great spin move, tip up no good. Still scramble for the rebound, and it's Young with it. He's tied up. We have our second held ball, and it's going to keep it at this end. So the Panthers will have possession with 6:34 to go. Ramon sits down. Back in the lineup for Pitt is Graves.
Without Aaron Gray, sorry, John, in the lineup, Pittsburgh plays completely differently. When he's in the game, the ball goes to him as much as possible, and they play through Gray. If he's double-teamed, he makes the pass out. If he's not double-teamed, he tries to go and make a shot. When he is out of the game, they have no such low-post presence against most teams. So now they move the ball on the perimeter more. They try to use the dribble drive a little bit more, like that.
That's the dribble drive, and a reversal for Young's 3. Rattles out. Cook has the rebound, and that's blocked. Nice job by Achara to block the shot. And he went back up for the putback. 32-15, 17-point difference. It's been as many as 20 here in the first half. Say one thing for the Dukes, they moved the ball around the perimeter pretty well.
They really have. And Pittsburgh's not trying to deny. They're trying to stay in front of their man and challenge shots. And they're not impatient defensively, trying to go for steals when they shouldn't.
Kendall gets that steal. 6 turnover for the Dukes. Fields to the trailer. Cook.
Cook is smiling because he didn't dunk that ball, John, on the way back. He wanted to make sure it went down.
He's got 7. He's off to a good start. Very well balanced. Of course, they've been that way all year. Alone inside and a foul. Young will pick up the foul, and Tucker will go to the line. It'll be the second foul on Sam Young.
Well, Tucker's a pretty explosive player. Scored a lot of points in junior college. Early here, he got big-time rebounds. He's an explosive young player. You notice nobody around the basket. Everybody's on the perimeter. So when you cut through there, you can get to be alone. Young man from Pensacola, Florida.
And he'll get another chance. And he's not a very good foul shooter. He's 7 for 16 now.
That's not going to make much.
No. Aaron Gray comes back in. Overall, Duquesne, a 76% free throw shooting team. We mentioned the difficulty the Panthers had. They're under 70% as a team, and they've struggled down the stretch at Auburn. Tucker 1 of 2. His first point. His running mate at Southern Union is a Georgia native. That's Reggie Jackson. You talked about him from Hogansville, Georgia. This is Levance Field. They go low to Aaron Gray. Looks for Kendall.
Repost.
Kendall almost lost it, saves it, gets it to Field. Shot clock inside 15. There's the quick pass. The in and out. Inside, outside. Little jump hook bending. Off, tipped up, no good. Kendall has it, goes back up. Missed that one, but it's tipped in by Gray. Just too big inside.
Dominance on the boards, those two. And they do it against teams that are a lot bigger than this team as well.
Tucker for 3. Chiro brings it back out.
Lack of hustle by Pittsburgh on that rebound right there. When you get this far ahead, sometimes that can happen in a game. Talk about Greg and Kendall, John. I mean, they are formidable 4 and 5 men in any league.
Tucker drives the baseline and scoops and scores. That's an excellent move by Tucker.
I'm admiring Duquesne here a little, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing smart. They're really spreading things out. They're trying to do what they can at the offensive end. Down here is where they have all the trouble. They can. It's nearly impossible for them to guard Gray or Kendall inside, and as a result, the other guys are all open. Well, nice ball movement right here. Nice drive. Protects the ball. Nice little English off the backboard. Nobody there to help. Pretty athletic move right there.
Now, part of the problem, though, now in trying to keep up with those big guys inside, it's 3 fouls on Chiro.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's gotten himself in foul trouble as Gray hits his first of 2 free throws.
Achara is playing in this game, and Ron Everhart's been taking him in and out of the game. Obviously, his conditioning is not very good right now. Those are the only 2 big players over 6'6" on this squad. So he's got to use them as well as he can. Get them in, get them out.
The rebound goes to Scott Brody. This is Aaron Jackson. Down the lane, he crashes, lost control of the ball momentarily, but gets it back. That's a 3, and it's going to come up short. Rebound picked off and brought out of there by Gilbert Brown, playing for the 2nd time this year. Looked like they were going to redshirt Gilbert Brown, who had some injury problems early on. But this is the 2nd game in which he's played. Steal, another one by Levon Kendall, but they get it back, and tumbling down is Philip Fain.
Eyes up.
Couldn't handle the pass. Here's Gray. Spins his way inside, misses the shot.
John, I love the way Levance Fields keeps his eyes up when he's in transition. Knows where everyone is all the time. That's why he's a great assist player.
That's a 3-pointer. The 8th of the year for Philip Fain.
Fain is a reputed shooter and not shooting well from 3-point range so far this year. Pretty athletic and a thick kind of player. 6 foot 210.
Well, he came in having made just 7 of 25 3-pointers, so he needs to zero in on that 3-point shot.
Yeah, it's early in the season too. He's adjusting to major college basketball.
It's the 2nd 3-pointer for Levance Fields. And the 4th for Pittsburgh. They go back out to a 19-point lead. Jackson with it. That's Aaron Jackson.
Notice the hand up. Every time somebody catches the basketball when they're in range, a Pittsburgh hand goes up to trace the ball. They contest shots very well.
Achara comes up just short in his 3-point attempt. Once again, Grody hit the deck as he was bumped by Young. There's the pass, the inside passing. They were so good at that for many years with their big men passing those short passes inside. At that time, it was not handled cleanly by Kendall. They didn't get the easy basket. Here's Cook for 3. Rattles out. Gray got a piece of the rebound. Tucker with it. And that's a 3-pointer. The first basket of the half for Grody, the Ohio native.
Well, Pittsburgh's going to call timeout right here, John, because Jamie Dixon doesn't feel like his guys are hustling to the three-point shooters right now. Duquesne averages 21 threes attempted per game. That's a lot.
Well, one thing that happened to Pitt a week ago against Robert Morris is they kind of lost their focus in the last 5 minutes of the first half, and eventually, about midway through the second half, Robert Morris actually had a 1-point lead.
Yeah.
But then they said, okay, that's enough of that. Here we go.
Well, this timeout is exactly what you're talking about. Jamie Dixon is talking to his guys right here about focus, or the message is focus. He may not be saying focus, but that's what the message is getting across loud and clear right now. They are not getting to the three-point shooters right now, and that can happen when you're this far ahead. There's a tendency to let up, and that's what's happened to Pittsburgh in the last couple of minutes.
We have halftime activities coming up. Our Big East report. We'll check out the players, Rookie of the Week. And we'll check some Big East top 25 scores. Villanova playing tonight, West Virginia playing against NC State. So some big college basketball action. We'll update all of that at halftime. And of course have all the highlights and stats from our opening 20 minutes. We've got a minute and 40 seconds to go.
Let's see how Pittsburgh responds after this timeout defensively.
Almost stolen by Fain. But Ramon manages to control. Biggs tried to go low, and Achara kicked it. So that'll take us to a timeout with a minute 26 to play, and Pittsburgh leading 40-24. Just had a couple of 20-point leads. Right now it's 40-24. They started red hot shooting the basketball 5 for 5, but they have cooled off. But the plus side of that is they have only 1 turnover.
Yeah, and you're not going to go 33 for 33, that's for sure. And they're handling the ball well. They're playing very, very good defense. They share the basketball extremely well. They are going according to plan. Teams are not going to shoot 50% during a game throughout the entire game. It's a game of spurts. Sometimes you go on spurts and sometimes you go off them. But if your defense and rebounding remain constant, that's a sign of a great team, and Pittsburgh is that.
Fields now has 8 points. The Panthers on the year, though, shooting 52%. A little over 52% from the field as a team. That's pretty good.
I'm guessing it'll be that in this game as well when the end happens.
Mitchell looks for help and has to reverse it now to Stephen Wood. This is Reggie Jackson. Shot clock again winding down toward 10. Achara thought about it and passed on the shot. Penetration, a drive off the glass, and good. Well done by Stephen Wood.
Spread out. Use the clock. Use your individual abilities one-on-one. That is the formula for success for Ron Everhart and Duquesne in this game.
We are in the final minute of the opening half of play. So stay with us for all of our halftime activity.
Duquesne's playing pretty physical defense right now.
Ramon misses the 3. And the rebound is brought out of there by Jackson. On the wing, Fain, quick move inside. Mitchell with a finish.
As the game has progressed, John, Duquesne has gotten more and more comfortable. Intimidated early by the number 2 ranking. After the sweat gets going and they're getting their rhythm, playing better. Achara has had a big impact on this game.
He sure has. He's already played a lot more minutes than they thought he would. Fields another 3. That one comes up short. Gray, no basket. That'll take us to halftime. It's 42-28. The Panthers built an early 20-point lead, but the Dukes have fought their way back in it and made it respectable at halftime. 42-28. We will have our halftime activities, including a look at a lot of Big East and top 25 basketball action. Aaron Gray doing the job inside. A very balanced performance by both teams. Each team had 8 players score in the first half. Halftime activities coming up.
I'm Bob Costas, and I've been broadcasting sports for a long time. Much of what I do is ad-libbed, but still one of the most important aspects of my job is being able to write. Narrations, essays, commentaries. It's essential to express those thoughts and concepts clearly and concisely. Good writing is essential for almost any career. And with today's advanced technology, the National Commission on Writing reports that the need to write well has never been more important. Writing is everybody's business.
If it's not your camera moving, it's your subject moving. But whatever the cause, millions of digital pictures of all kinds came out blurry last year,
giving people millions of reasons to upgrade to the FinePix F20, F30, and S6000 from Fujifilm. with real photo technology and picture stabilization. Visit Fujifilm-RPT.com now,
And you'll learn how that can mean the difference between backgrounds that are murky or clear, foregrounds that are washed out,
or natural. And how to get a $50 rebate on the FinePix F30 and S6000. Real photo technology captures great shots, even when the light's low, when your target moves,
or you'd rather not use a flash.
Visit Fujifilm-RPT.com, and you'll also see how the S6000's face detection instantly recognizes people's faces for sharp, clear pictures, and how to get a $50 rebate on the FinePix F30 and S6000.
I've been waiting so long for this.
Darling?
Yes.
Hey, nice floor.
For unique floors sure to catch your eye, come to Long Island Paneling, Ceilings, and Floors. Pergo, known for quality laminate floors, offers an exciting selection of realistic wood grains and ceramic styles. Pergo's durability is only exceeded by its great looks. We display their complete line, most in stock. For low prices, great service, and free delivery on most purchases, visit one of Long Island Paneling, Ceilings, and Floors' 6 locations.
Take me home.
First time I put on the orange and blue uniform. Coming back home for the first time.
You should be glad you're here.
The first time I hit a game-winning shot.
Number one.
Do you remember the first time you went to a Knicks game at the Garden?
Where we from? New York City. Put one finger up. Put one finger up. Come on, come on. Take me home.
We welcome you back to the Peterson Event Center on the campus of the University of Pittsburgh. The first 20 minutes of the city game between Duquesne and Pitt are in the books. Let's begin our halftime coverage by checking out some big names in the Big East, including the player of the week, Sammy Mejia, who led DePaul to that big win over KU.
How about that? DePaul has 3 wins. They've struggled, and one of their wins against number 5 Kansas, Mejia scored 8 points in the final moments to win it.
He is the player of the week. Here comes the rookie of the week out of Seton Hall. It's Eugene Harvey.
Eugene really is a freshman and really done a great job. 16 points. They were off to 5-1. New coach Bobby Gonzalez loves this new guard.
And a couple of Big East teams competing in the Jimmy B Classic last night, and there was Oklahoma State knocking off Syracuse, second loss for the Orange, also the second loss early on for Louisville.
And Louisville has only played 4 games. They are not in the groove yet, that's for sure.
A 2-2 record, but there are a lot of big games tonight in the Big East and around the country. We'll focus on those when we come back to Pittsburgh.
Do you remember when we learned that too much of anything isn't good?
Yes!
Well, let's apply that lesson to enjoying Guinness.
Apply previously learned lessons of moderation to drinking Guinness. Brilliant!
Please enjoy Guinness Draft responsibly.
I wanted to build my future. At the University of Pittsburgh, I learned with the best students. Pitt students win top national and international scholarships. And Pitt's alumni, they receive the world's top prizes. Pitt's athletes are among the best ever. And Pitt's ranked in the top 20 national public universities. At school, people build their future. At Pitt, we're building our future together.
All across New York, small businesses, working people and their families finally have access to quality health insurance, thanks to Healthy New York.
My job doesn't offer health insurance, but I need coverage.
Now with more affordable premiums, more choices, and it's easier to qualify.
Keeping working families and small businesses stronger and healthier. That's Healthy New York.
To find out if you qualify, call 1-866-HEALTHY-NY or visit healthyny.com.
78 people are dead in the worst disaster in football history.
I think you should have this back.
Chris gave it to you.
When I heard about what had happened, the only thing I could think about was maybe I can help.
Putting the team back on that field might be disrespectful.
This is not a game. This is about what happened to this town.
You think you're the only one that's had it rough?
This is your opportunity to rise from these ashes, and if you do that, we cannot lose.
We are Marshall.
What day is it, son?
Rated PG.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Kidd and Nash go head-to-head on the court as the Nets look to turn out the lights on the Suns. Suns, Nets. Complete coverage starts tomorrow at 7, only on Yes.
Welcome back to the Peterson Event Center. It's 42-28. Pittsburgh has the lead, but the last few minutes of that opening half belong to the Dukes. They played pretty well to get themselves back in it down by just 14 at halftime. Busy night in Big East College basketball. Let's update some scores for you. Florida, number 7, defeats Providence. 85-67 is the final there. And Villanova over Oklahoma, 67-51.
Curtis Sumter is back, and Villanova is alive.
And how about this? West Virginia, everybody thought they were going to have trouble winning any games. They beat NC State again. It's 71-60 is the final there.
John Beilein and the beat go on.
And UConn still undefeated, rolling over Northeastern, Ron Eberhardt's former team. And Rutgers has defeated New Hampshire. 55-48 is the final there. And the Scarlet Knights had really struggled to start the season.
They needed that badly. And, of course, DePaul, after struggling early with some games, getting a breather tonight against Chicago State.
Updated standings. The two teams that are still undefeated, one of them we're watching here. UConn, who's won tonight, is the other. Marquette in that top 20. Notre Dame, Villanova, West Virginia, Seton Hall, all with just one loss. So good non-conference record again for Big East team.
And Syracuse at 7-2. They played a lot of games, a lot more than most of the games already. USF surprising a little bit. McHugh Mathis doing a good job right down there, and Buckley leading the league in scoring right now. So USF off to a surprisingly good start.
We'll talk about our first half. So look at some highlights, check out some stats when we come back right after this. Stay with us.
6 players do not make a team. If they don't work together, they're just 6 individuals in matching uniforms. At Oppenheimer Funds, our investment professionals work hand in hand, sharing more than a common goal, sharing the skills that can lead to success. Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
Carefully consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Call your advisor for a prospectus with this and other fund information. Read it carefully before investing.
Swings it out, Anderson, down low, boom, dunks, what a pass! McGee springs a double team and steals it from Thomas. Medine, a 3, good!
Out to Krauser, three-pointer is good! It's showtime at the Pitt.
Right of the lane, back to McNamara, 3 on the way, right side, book it!
Andy Floyd, down the lane, pulls up off the glass and good from 8 feet right of the lane.
They can't stop him. Here's J.D. driving, kicking it right corner, Herbert for a 3.
Yes!
Paula Sela is a real Geico customer, not an actor. So to help tell her story, we hired that announcer guy from the movies.
When the storm hit, both our cars were totally underwater.
In a world where both of our cars were totally underwater,
We thought it would take forever to get some help.
but a new wind was about to blow.
With Geico, we had our check in 2 days.
Payback. This time, it's for real.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
All I want is my TV, internet, and phone from one company.
One low price for everything? That's what I want.
All I want is a real choice.
Why settle for cable when you can now get everything you want from a reliable company like Verizon? Your phone service, high-speed internet, and now even TV. All on one bill for one low price.
All I want is something better.
Phone, broadband, TV, Verizon.
Now I want it.
I think they're excited.
Remember when wishes came true? They still can. Introducing the BMW Holiday Wish Event, the best time of year to buy the new 2007 X3 sports activity vehicle. Lease a 2007 BMW X3 for $349 a month until January 2nd.
Panthers lead at 42-28 as we continue with our halftime. Tonight's Big East Coaches Spotlight is brought to you by Oppenheimer Funds. Let's take a closer look at Jamie Dixon. Pretty easy to do, all the success he's had, huh?
Unbelievable start to his career. 5th best coaching start after 3 seasons. Division I history. That's history forever. Of course, Big East Coach of the Year, and They go to the NCAA tournament every single year. Jamie Duquesne, an unbelievably successful coach in his start at the Pittsburgh helm.
I'm John Sanders. His name is Bob Wenzel, and we'll look at some of our first half highlights. The Panthers had a 30-10 lead with 9:04 to go in the half, and from that point on, it was Duquesne 18-12. So the Dukes battled and stayed in there.
You have to admire the Dukes. Small, inexperienced, but they fought back, and they did it with their two best players, Grody and Mitchell, 1 for 9. How did they do it? Well, they were aggressive, and their only experienced player, Aaron Jackson, came up big to lead them. Grody not able to do anything. Tucker comes off the bench and gets in the scoring column. And then, of course, Wood able to hit from three-point range. That helped an awful lot. So Duquesne showing a lot of guts going after it. Pittsburgh, what do you say about this team? Number 2 in the nation. They have everything. Fields can make it from three-point range. Biggs is a substitute. He's got 2 block shots. He can also fill the lane. What else does Pittsburgh do? They shoot well from the perimeter. They play great defense. They have athleticism in Sam Young. And they have power close to the basket in Kendall and Gray.
Yeah, they're
this
a lot
is why Pittsburgh, John, is number 2 in the country.
Absolutely. It was just like a volleyball match inside between those two big guys. And you see the first half stats.
Well, Pittsburgh is more efficient, obviously. But also, Pittsburgh has 11 offensive rebounds to 1 offensive rebound. A cleanly played game. Nobody's turning the ball over very much. Duquesne 6 and Pitt only 1.
We've got another 20 minutes coming up. The city game. Right now, Pittsburgh leads it by 14.
Time. Are you ready? Hill.
Both teams are back on the court. We're about ready to start the second half. Let's double check our leaders in the first 20 minutes. You see that Jackson and Wood had 5 each. Achara 3 rebounds along with Grody. Mitchell had a couple of assists. The Pitt Panthers, again, they were well balanced also during the first 20 minutes. The leading scorer, though, was Tyrell Biggs with 8, and Levance Field had 8. Duquesne will have the basketball as we start the second half from the Peterson Event Center. Chiro, a little strong with an outside shot and scramble for the rebound. And once again, a held ball. We've had 3 of those. Sometimes you go the whole game, you don't have any. You've had 3 already. And it's going to turn it over to Pittsburgh.
Sometimes guys fall to the ground. They think the whistle is going to be blown right away, and it isn't. It's not blown until somebody ties the guy up, and sometimes guys are waiting to tie him up. Fields had a very good first half. 8 points, handled the ball very well. 2 assists, no turnovers. Typical, non-spectacular, but terrific performance by that point guard.
Chiro getting the start in the second half, came off the bench in the first half. Aaron Gray works it inside and rolls it home. He now leads the scoring with 9.
Well, he doesn't go away. A double-double almost every day. Against Florida State, only had 9 points and 5 rebounds. Florida State, extremely athletic team, beat Florida the other night. That was not a game where Aaron played well.
Same starting 5 for the Panthers out there. Kendall, Gray, Fields, Graves, and Cook. And Chiro getting the start in the second half. Shot clock again inside 10. We'll see that all night long.
Look
Jackson,
at the basket area.
A little bit of a seam, and then he dumps it off to Chiro. Lost control at the buzzer. That one won't go. He did hit the rim, and the Dukes come up with it. Jackson.
That's a good example, John, of playing the whistle. You don't play the horn. The horn sounds on a situation like that. Players continue to play right through that when it's the end of the shot clock. You play the whistle. Individual defense. Look at the basket area. Very little people get in there and they get out of there. 5 guys on the perimeter.
Shot clock again inside 10. 3-pointer, bending, no good. A rebound brought out by the Panthers. And they lose possession again. Wood up and in. So Wood with 7 points.
Duquesne has made the hustle plays the last 3 minutes of the first half and to the start of the second half as well.
Well, they've used up over 2 minutes, and they've had the ball most of the time. Panthers have not had many chances so far in the second half.
Do we have a stat in basketball, time of possession?
Double
team here.
Nope, it's knocked away from Kendall. Chiro comes up there with it.
Solid defense. Aaron Jackson, John, on the weak side, stuck his hand. Kendall was wide open. He prevented a layup.
I think you touched on something at the end of the first half. This is a team that's playing with a little more confidence. Achiro will shoot a three, misses it, tipped up, almost in, and a rebound underneath, knocked out of bounds by Jackson. It belongs to Pitt. But they're getting the feeling, I think, that they can play with these guys.
I think there's no doubt about that. And when Chiro shoots from the top of the key, what happens, John? Aaron Gray is out there contesting him, right? So what happens? The guards are rebounding against the guards inside, and therefore there's not as much of an advantage for Pittsburgh in that kind of a situation. If they can pull Gray away from the basket, it's a positive thing.
And the Panthers, who had only one turnover in the first half, have had two already in the second half. Chiro will sit down. And checking back in is Kieran Achara, who played some pretty good minutes in the first half. There's the turnover situation so far in this second half. Ramon with it. Benjamin underneath from the side. Gray, a little bit of a miss, just too strong, would not roll. Brody got the rebound, and here come the Dukes. Flying in, a block and a foul. That'll be number 2 on Aaron Gray.
Pittsburgh looks sluggish coming out of the locker room to me. You know, they don't have the energy defensively that they normally have. Offensively, they scored on their first possession. Since that time, they've been very lackadaisical at the offensive end, not getting back quickly. Gray certainly felt he had the block there.
Well, each team has scored only 2 points here in the second half in the first 3 minutes. Wood misses the front end of the 2 shots.
Ron Everhart from Virginia Tech, went to school there, was an outstanding player from West Virginia. Probably only about 60 miles from here, his home.
And Aaron Gray corrals the loose ball.
Ramon is in for shooting.
Young looks inside, goes instead to Kendall for 3 from straight away. Levon Kendall now has 7 points, and that is Kendall's first 3-pointer of the season.
Big smile between Gray and Kendall on the way back down.
Well, he had been 0 for 6, and he finally nets a 3. Achara from outside. He buries that one. It's a 2.
Big difference with Achara in there and not in there. Duquesne is 2 and 4 in their first 6 games. They played 2 games that were very close. His presence could have made a big difference. They could be 4 and 2 very easily with him in the game.
Turnaround bending no good. Rebound on the weak side. And able to come out of there with it was Tucker. They won their first 2 games and surprised everybody by beating Youngstown State and UNC Asheville.
Wood from 3.
So Wood now has 10. He's the first player in double figures. And the lead is down to 12.
The longer they stay like this, the more confident they're going to become. And the more they'll be able to play well.
Ball knocked out of bounds. Remains to the Panthers. We have a quick timeout with 15:36 to play. It's 47-35 Pittsburgh. Well, the closest the Dukes have been since it was 17-7 with 14 minutes left in the first half. It's 47-35, and a young man who's having quite a day. This is Greg. The young man is a Make-A-Wish young man from Crafton, Pennsylvania. He's a Panther season ticket holder. He's an honorary member of the zoo. Got to shoot some baskets, but more importantly, when the teams were warming up, he met the players, and he was led around. We met him as he was led around by Jamie Dixon, who is sitting there, and he is the assistant coach tonight, sitting right next to the head coach.
He told me that he thinks Jamie should substitute more. What do you think?
Well, he might be right.
Change of defense. 1-3-1 by the Duquesne Dukes. Try to cause some confusion coming out of the timeout. Corners will be open.
And Biggs, there's another turnover by the Panthers.
Bad play by Cook right there. No one home. Leaps in the air, throws to nobody.
Trying to cut it back to 10. Tucker with it outside.
Nice tactical move by Everhart out of that timeout.
Kendall comes out on Tucker. 15 minutes to play. Now Tucker fights his way down the lane and draws a foul.
Well, you talk about a height disadvantage. That's a height advantage right there for Duquesne. Tucker, 6 foot, quick, really shifty player. Kendall trying to guard him way away from the basket. And he has an advantage in that kind of a situation. Kendall at 6'10". Got caught on a switch, had to guard a smaller player. the ensuing foul.
So a fresh clock for the Dukes of Duquesne. Inside, Achara working on Kendall, and that's an offensive foul.
Now there's a different kind of defense, right? Kendall on the last possession trying to guard a guard away from the basket, a quick guy, much more accustomed to guarding Achara close to the basket, makes a good play and draws the foul.
Achara picks up number 3.
Kendall, good foot position. Notice his hands straight up, so if he blocked the shot, he would not get a foul called on him. Nice body position. That's how you play post defense.
And that's the first turnover of the second half for the Duquesne Dukes. This is Benjamin. Skip it across Ramon. Now Cook. Into the lane. Skips it to Benjamin. He's out of bounds. So a little sloppy, as you said, for the Panthers to start the second half.
Very sloppy. I mean, they're really not executing at all for Jamie Dixon. They're a little lethargic at the defensive end. They're playing contained defense, but not turning Duquesne over much. Duquesne getting a shot on every possession.
And you talked about the perimeter offense of the Dukes. It's been pretty good. Tried to go low, and he was kicked.
Right now, what Pittsburgh needs is some outside shooting against the 1-3-1 zone. Ramon is the likely guy. Benjamin can shoot it. Ramon, the best three-point shooter in the Big East Conference this year and last year as well.
Panthers stick with their man-to-man defense.
But because of the smallness and the ball handling, very few turnovers by Duquesne. They're getting a shot on every possession, John.
And some pretty good looks.
Yeah,
that one rattled but would not go. Back comes Pitt. He played just over 6 minutes of this second half. This is Benjamin. Back to Ramon. Spots for 3. Too strong.
It's like they're praying for that one to go in. Everybody yearning for it to go in.
And a foul called underneath. Duquesne wants the basket to go, and the foul will go on Keith Benjamin. It'll be his first. And they do not give him the basket. Instead, it'll be 2 shots at the line. Mitchell averaging almost 19 points a game, but he's been kind of quiet.
He really has. The foul is underneath, as you said. The nice block shot. Had the ball been on the way down, the basket would have been good, and he would have had 1 shot. But the ball was on the way up, so it was a clean block.
And Aaron Gray checks back in. Kendall will set. Gray has 2 fouls. Kendall has 1. Mitchell is 4 for 4 from the line. He has 6 points now, the freshman from Brooklyn. And here we are back at that 10-point difference. First time since the 14-minute mark of the first half.
Well, Benjamin out, Graves in. Graves is a good shooter. He needs to tune it up right here. They have not attacked this 1-3-1 well at all, have not scored against it.
There's good movement. Cook from the baseline comes up short. There's Gray, and he's fouled on the putback. A 7-0 run.
Well, Gray was in the right position right now. The guys in the white jerseys very hesitant to shoot the ball. They are not in rhythm at all from the perimeter. They need to crash the boards and get inside, and that's what Gray has done on this possession.
Well, they've definitely gotten a lift from Achara, have the Dukes, but he's now got 4 fouls.
And that's what you would expect. And now you see the substitution. Chiro replaces Achara. He's only practiced for 2 days the whole season so far. And he's playing against one of the best big guys in the country, so you would expect him to get in foul trouble in a game like this.
He's been out until this game with a stress fracture of the foot. It was a very common injury in college basketball. 11 for Aaron Gray. He leads the scoring for his team. You've got Stephen Wood with 10 for Duquesne.
4 guards and a 6'6" guy in the game for Duquesne.
Chiro inside, won't go. Gray tipped it, but Mitchell got the rebound. He comes up short with his putback shot, and then the foul is going to go on Biggs.
Duquesne is really out hustling Pittsburgh right now, and have been for the last 5 or 6 minutes of this game. The shot is going up. Pittsburgh's guys are spectators. Duquesne's guys are hustling after the basketball. And they are rewarded with this possession.
Just over 13 minutes to play. Duquesne handles the inbounds play. Chiro not afraid to shoot. He comes up way short with that one. Ramon to Cook. That's too strong. That's Aaron Gray with a nice rebound. Goes inside to Biggs. Pump fake. Left hand shot good. 10 for Tyrell Biggs.
The question for Jamie Dixon and his staff is, do we try to go smaller and match up small with Duquesne? Because right now, big is not getting it done. They're getting closer and closer. They're having difficulty defending at this end. They're having difficulty rebounding the quick shots at this end.
Aaron Jackson. No place to go. He throws it away.
A little more energy on D on that one, huh?
Yeah. Aaron Gray now with 9 rebounds. He's 1 away from another double-double. He hits the deck inside. This is Cook from outside. Got it. It's a 2. 9 for the transfer from East Carolina.
Cook says to himself, about time. He missed 2 wide open ones and had a turnover. Finally, he makes one.
He had some good looks. Finally gets it to go. Pitt stretches it out to 16 again, just inside 12 to play.
If you want to make your harder...
Well, 11:56 to go. Panthers are on top.
Open shots have been brick city right here. Aaron Gray keeps it alive in the inside play. This is something they really needed. They were struggling until they got this play by Biggs. One big player to another one, taking advantage at inside. But at the other end, Duquesne has handled the ball well at their offensive end. They've crashed the offensive boards. They've been hustling. Got it down, and Pittsburgh has begun to assert itself again.
Chiro handles. It was a 7-0 run for Duquesne, cut the lead to 10, and the Panthers have answered that by scoring the last 6. So thus it's 53-37. Jackson for 3. Too strong. Oh, what a good rebound, though, underneath that time.
Mitchell, the skinniest guy out there, comes up with it.
Grody up, blocked into the hands of Aaron Gray. Look to Fields. But Duquesne gets back very quickly.
They do. They have not given any fast break layups, I'll tell you that. Outlets to the middle of the floor are dangerous also.
Inside Gray against Chiro. Draws a triple team. Aaron Gray now with another double-double. Powers it up with the left hand. Bending off. And he can't handle the rebound. Back the other way comes Jackson. Inside, Mitchell is fouled.
Well, Biggs gets the foul, but at the other end, Cook is making some mistakes offensively, John. When Gray was triple teamed, the ball came back out to him, and he drove right back into the triple team. Hence, not a good offensive play for Pittsburgh.
That's 3 fouls on Biggs. Gray and the Panthers will huddle, leading here at home. 53-37, Pittsburgh. We've had no scoring by Duquesne in the last 3 minutes. Let's take a look now at our select stats, brought to you by Select Sector Spiders.
Efficiency by Pittsburgh is much better than that of Duquesne, and that is the difference in the game.
And very balanced scoring once again. Kendall has 7, Gray 11, Fields has 9, Cook has 9, and Biggs has 8. So it's very balanced. You talked about that earlier. Got a few guys in double figures, but everybody else hovering around between 5 and 9 points a game.
Exactly, and that's what you want. I mean, that's what makes for long-term success. When certain players don't have good games for Pittsburgh, it doesn't really matter. As long as they have good games defensively and rebounding, the offense can wane for players. They have other players who come in and take up the slack. Everybody capable.
6 of Robert Mitchell's points tonight have come from the foul line. He's 6 for 6. Nearing the midway point of the second half, working the ball is Antonio Graves. Gets it to Kendall. No place to go. Triple teamed and fouled.
Most of the time in this game, when triple teams have happened, they've been handled well by both Kendall and Gray. At times when the ball has come out, however, Pittsburgh needs to shoot those shots and shoot them cleanly.
Fields inside to Levon Kendall. And he almost threw it away. Graves saved it and then dumps it down to Cook off the glass. Bending good. Very athletic move by Mike Cook. He's got 11.
Cook has some strength and athleticism that is used best when he's close to the basket. He's not a bad shooter, but that should not be his primary concern.
Kendall knocks it away, but is tracked down by Reggie Jackson. This is Grody with it.
Biggs guarding someone away from the basket. They mix up on the switch.
Here's Mitchell. fouled. Fields with a reach in. That'll be number 1 on Levance Fields.
He got him before the shot, so it'll only be an inbound situation.
It is the 16th foul against Pitt. One more, and the Dukes will be shooting. We're inside that 10-minute mark. Time remaining here in the second half. And again, the Dukes taking their time working the perimeter.
Look at underneath the basket, John.
There's nobody there.
Nobody there.
Machiro was at the top of the circle.
And that means you can drive in there and there won't be much help.
Grody down the lane. And he's turning it over.
Well, Grody has not had one of his better games. Second leading scorer on this team coming into the game as a freshman, averaging 15 a game.
And he's had only 3. Made that 1 3-pointer in the first half. That's been it. Here comes Cook. Draws a crowd, reverses Graves from outside. Bingo.
What an improved shooter he is. Remember last year, he couldn't make that kind of shot at all. This year, worked on his shot over the summer, really has improved his range.
He has 5 points so far, 57-39. The Panthers stretch it out again.
They've played better at this end the last 4 possessions.
Grody from deep in the corner. That one's too strong, and a nice rebound right out of there by Cook. But he's hounded and turns it over. Taken away. Jackson is fouled by Biggs. And that'll be number 4 on Tyrell Biggs. Panthers have not had a player foul out of a game this year.
Well, this is sloppy ball handling by Cook. He thinks he's going to go the other way. Very casual, one-handed pass. That is not what he wants to do. Nice hustle play right here by Jackson. A little too casual by Cook on that play. You got to remember, Cook sat out last year as a transfer, came in from East Carolina. Big-time scorer. They love him here in Pittsburgh. But he's got a lot to learn as well.
Well,
he sit out for a year, John. You know, you get a little rusty.
That's true. He averaged 15 a game at ECU. Jackson's been very good from the free throw stripe. He hits 2 there. He's 14 of 16 on the year. He's got 7. We have 8:38 to play. The Panthers leading now by 16. More subs into the lineup for the Dukes. We're on the campus of the University of Pittsburgh at the Peterson Event Center. Glad to have you along. A late start here. I'm John Sanders alongside Bob Wenzel. This is our second game together watching these Panthers. And I think so far of the games we've seen him play, I've seen him 4 times, you've seen him 3. They have yet to put together a complete game. You know what I mean? Something where they do everything top-notch from start to finish. That's tough for anybody to do, but they really haven't done it.
It is, and they're ranked 2nd in the country. And you know what, John? Teams are playing too many games too early. Not enough practice time. Teams play sloppy early in the season. You saw it last night with Jimmy V Classic. Sloppy games between Oklahoma State and Syracuse and Arizona and Louisville. Louisville played for about 5 minutes, took shots, couldn't draw iron. They were awful from the outside.
Lachara is back in there with 4 fouls. Grody gets it to go from down inside. He thought he was going to try to draw a foul, I think, and he wound up making the basket.
I'm impressed with the way Everhart's coaching his team. They play hard. They are undersized. Now that he has a Chara back who was in the game with 4 fouls, that's going to add a lot to this team.
That's a 3, and it's too strong. Tipped out of bounds, and it belongs to the Dukes of Duquesne. They're down by 14, but still battling here in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's leading 57-43 here on their home court, the Peterson Event Center. Well, let's take a look now at a game-changing performance brought to you by Pontiac.
Well, Aaron Gray, John, the 3 R's. Recipient, reverse, and of course, rebound. His 22nd double-double of the year so far, and not a bad pass either inside. Aaron Gray changes the game for Pittsburgh.
That is our game-changing performance. Gray with 11 points. And as you mentioned, another double-double, 22 now in his career. A career that he really had to earn his playing time. Didn't play much his first couple of years, but boy, has he improved.
That's a good way to do it, earn it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Instead of being given, he has really worked hard, played behind Tad, played behind Chevy Troutman, a lot of other terrific inside players here, and learned a lot.
And Grody's starting to get it going. Now has 7 points. Trying to keep the Dukes around. They're down by 12. 7 minutes to play. They'll play West Virginia at home in their next game. The Panthers go to Buffalo, and boy, when he catches it that low, you can forget about it.
Yes. And give some credit to Kendall as well. Finds Gray very well. Constantly aware of Gray's presence and position in the lane. Very used to finding his teammate.
Payne from outside, hounded by Graves. Tried to go to Achara. A little too close to make that pass. It's 3-on-3. Fields to Ronald Ramon. He'll shoot a three, comes up short. A rebound out of there by Reggie Jackson. Back comes Aaron Jackson. No. He went one way, the ball went the other. Achara was going to move to the basket, and the pass went behind him out of bounds. So a turnover.
Well, Grody's hanging in there. Ron Everhart has got to be pleased with his team's performance in this game. They are hanging with the #2 team in the nation. Doesn't look very happy. But they are hustling and staying hustling. Ramon only 1 for 4 from three-point range in this game. Looks a little bit out of sync tonight.
They have gotten as close as 10 here in the second half. Graves, a couple of good spin moves, and then a wide open look comes back at him. And he commits the foul going over the back.
Well, he wanted that shot badly, John. He created that one. Very unusual for Pitt to use that much one-on-one in one possession.
The other thing, too, you get in there like 5-6 feet. That's a tough shot. It's not an easy shot. You've got to have the touch for it.
Especially when you're floating like that. He's trying to create right here. Hits the back of the rim and follows, and that's always going to be a foul.
Well, we're in the bonus now. Payne will go to the line. Native of Illinois, sophomore Philip Payne from Southwest Illinois College.
Had mononucleosis earlier this year. Lost about 15 pounds.
Another rebound for Aaron Gray as Payne misses the free throw. Here's Ronald Ramon. Back out to Levance Fields off the Gray screen. Inside they go. Gray up and rolls it home.
He gets so many easy baskets like that. A team is knocking on the door, and all of a sudden he gets 3 baskets like that, and they spread their lead.
Well, that's why he's shooting 67% from the field. And this is kind of the situation in the game a week ago against Robert Morris, when Robert Morris kept hanging around, actually took a 1-point lead briefly midway through the second half, and then Aaron Gray just took over.
And they go to him, too. You know, his teammates know that he can take over and influence a game like that. He can get a lot more easier shots than any guy on the floor.
Achara has it tapped away and out of bounds, so the Dukes will keep it with 26 on the shot clock. One thing you and I talked about when we saw him against UMass is, do they have a go-to guy? And you said, yeah, he wears number 33.
But there'll be situations where this guy might be the go-to guy. Graves
will stuff it home. 7 points for the senior from Mansfield, Ohio. Now it's an 18-point ball game.
The thing you think about with Pittsburgh reaching the highest level and winning the national championship type talk is, are there guys on this team that can take it on the dribble and score on their own with the shot clock running down when it's a difficult situation, or when Gray's in foul trouble, or when Gray plays against another guy who can guard him one-on-one? And, you know, there are likely candidates. Cook could be a guy like that. Graves could be a guy like that. Fields certainly can get to the lane and create for others. So there's possibilities on the Pittsburgh roster to take that role, and it will be interesting to see as the year goes on who will take on that role for Jamie Dixon.
Of course, the thing that will make it most interesting is when they get to Big East play, which they will do on January the 4th at Syracuse. Here's Gray outside. On that same day, or the day before, Kendall on a drive and a foul call. January 3rd, the A-10 season will open for the Dukes. They'll be playing at St. Joe's.
Well, Syracuse lost last night, and part of the reason they lost was Devendorf was ill, and services could not be had in that game, and they looked like a ship without a rudder in that game.
And that's number 5. But I'll tell you what, Achara played more minutes and probably played better than anybody thought he would, having not played at all until tonight.
2 days ago, they weren't sure whether he would play in this game at all. So a happy moment. Achara fouled out, but some points and some rebounds and some good D.
Gray tried to get it back to Fields. It bounced out of his hands and went into the hands of Mitchell. Chiro has it knocked away by Kendall. Ramon again will try a three. Bending off and rebounded by Chiro. Back come the Dukes on the run. Inside 5 minutes left in this game. 4:15 to be exact. The Dukes have stayed with their game plan, though, Bob. I mean, they haven't really varied very much.
You know, and you don't want to get buried in a game like this. You know, you try to do too much and you end up losing by 30 points. Run your stuff, stay in the game, get some pride after reading the score in the paper. They're using their quickness nicely. They share the basketball.
Mitchell for three. Rebound to Aaron Gray. The Panthers are about to go to 9-0, and that's nothing new. Last year they started 15-0. In 04 they started 10-0. In 03 they started 18-0. This is the 5th straight year they've won their first 8 games.
You know, when you're a team, you like to have that end O at the end of your record.
You do. Doesn't matter what month it is.
That's right.
But if it's December, that means you're playing pretty well. That's short and out of bounds.
And not a lot of teams have it. And the two guys who have been the coaches here are among the best, Howland and Dixon.
Opportunity doesn't knock. Opportunity waits. Waits for people with the knowledge, experience, and talent to locate it. At Oppenheimer Funds, our investment teams have been creating value by finding hidden investment opportunities for over 45 years. Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
Carefully consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Call your advisor for a prospectus with this and other fund information. Read it carefully before investing.
If you want to make your hard-earned dollar go a whole lot farther, get ready. Advance Auto Parts has the low prices guaranteed to save you money. Get ready to get the best price possible on all the parts and accessories you need with our ready-to-go low price guarantee. Nobody can beat our prices on just about anything for your car. So when you want to get more for your money while getting more out of your car, get to Advance Auto Parts for our everyday ready-to-go low price guarantee.
Ready in advance.
Introducing the all-new Mitsubishi Outlander. Out everything. Everything.
I was walking down the street. I saw a poster.
What? You said we were going to be paying less.
I'm State Farm Agent Demetrius Simon, and this is a true story.
Making ends meet is tough with a new baby.
When another company kept promising to save us money on car insurance, we believed them.
Guess what? We were charged more.
A lot more.
We switched back to State Farm because we've got an agent we can count on.
Anybody can promise you a good price, but nobody takes care of you like State Farm. Call an agent today.
I think someone's had an accident. Ooh.
Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
Tonight's City Game has been brought to you by Select Sector Spiders. Start weaving a stronger portfolio today. Visit us on the web at SpectorSPDRS.com or call 1-800-THE-AMEX. And by Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA. 63-45. We talked about those Duquesne players who were shot on September 17th on campus following a dance, and the support that has been shown here. Sam Ashley was the most seriously injured because he was shot in the head. But Orlando Antigua, as a teenager, suffered the same kind of fate, and he has promised to meet with Ashley and, give him some encouragement.
And Orlando, of course, was a Pittsburgh player and assistant coach. When he lived in the Bronx, it was a drive-by shooting, total accident. So he has something he can talk to those gentlemen about. Ashley was one. Stuart Baldonado was another. Aaron Jackson, Sean James, and Kojo Mensah, the 5 that were injured in that senseless attack.
Good job by Wood inside. He has 12 points, and they put some pressure on now in the final 3 minutes of this game. Step through and a steal. Here's Jackson to Tucker. Up and in. 5 for Gary Tucker. 63-49, 14-point lead, and another loose ball. And again, the Dukes come up with it. Here's Tucker. He traveled.
Well, right now, change of defense again by Everhart. Went to a half-court trap, now a full-court trap, which they haven't used at all in this game, using it in the last 2:34. Hopeful to get some turnovers. If Pitt attacks it correctly, they can get layups if they're double teamed.
Almost turned it over again. Does get it to Young. And Young all the way down will go to the line for a three-point play.
Levance Fields, take note, is not in the game. He would be the best guy against pressure right here. Young attacked the basket because he realizes when a team presses you, they are gambling. If you get through that gamble trap, you've got clear sailing to the bucket. Sam understands it and executes it.
So 5 points now for Sam Young. Again, very balanced scoring. 66-49, driving a foul and a basket. A late push by Robert Mitchell in this game, and he'll get a chance to answer that three-point play.
Mitchell has offensive skills, 6'5", 6'6", but very thin, as we alluded to. Only about 175 pounds. When he starts hitting the weights in college and eats right, he's going to be a good player. Only a freshman.
He's been a terrific foul shooter tonight, 7 for 7, and we've got a hold on the other side of the court. 31 was holding 31. So that means that Wood will pick up his second foul. And the foul was on Cook. But keep in mind, they're not even in the bonus yet. Here, 2:18 to go.
Right, and they know it, so they can afford the fouls. They don't lose anything by fouling in those situations. They force an unusual sideline out-of-bounds play in the backcourt. Look for the traps. Ramon is not a quick player. Trapping him is a wise idea.
He does get it to Cook. And there's a foul. That's on Reggie Jackson. Another of the transfers. Ronald Ramon, 6 of 9 from the free throw line, will get his first chance tonight at 66-52.
He doesn't go to the free throw line much because he's normally on the perimeter shooting threes. When you don't take it to the basket, you get fouled less, obviously. Only 1 3 to his credit tonight.
That came in the first half. That's his first point in the second half. And Kendall and Gray, both on the bench right now, try to handle the pressure. And there's Greg, who's the unofficial assistant coach for the game tonight.
Make a wish, Greg. He made a wish for a win. Looks like he's going to get it.
68-52. Panthers about to go to 9-0 and hand the Dukes their 5th consecutive loss. In this series, it will be their 6th loss in a row. But there was no quit in these Duquesne Dukes.
No, really. I admire their guts in this game coming into the Peterson Event Center. They got off to a bad start, but they hung tough and played for 40 minutes.
Took the rebound. Tied up by Wood. Gets it ahead. This is Antonio Gray. Panthers have numbers. This is a 3, and it's good by Young. Sam Young's 8th point of the night. And he's 4 of 8 shooting 3-pointers.
I'll tell you what, with he and Graves, those two are athletic. They can be put in the game and create a lot of interesting matchup situations for opponents.
Final minute 15 in the city game. Long-time rivalry that goes back to 1932. Of course, there were a lot of times they used to play 2 and 3 times a year. They were both in the A-10, played twice in the regular season, and then maybe in the tournament.
They play in old Fitzgerald Fieldhouse.
And they played in the Civic Arena, which was the home of the Duquesne Dukes until they built the on-campus Palumbo Center.
Charles Smith, Jerome Lane, Norm Nixon of Duquesne. A lot of guys come to mind.
And then a foul outside. Of course, there's a connection. The foul is going to go on Ronald Ramon, his second. Mike Rice is an assistant coach at Pittsburgh, and for years, his dad, Mike Rice Sr., was the head coach at Duquesne. He grew up despising the Pittsburgh Panthers.
And now he's an assistant coach.
Now he's an assistant coach.
Well, Mike Rice Sr. was an awfully fiery coach, I'll tell you that. And his son played at Fordham, outstanding player at Fordham. They played in the NIT. I actually coached against him when I was coaching at Rutgers. He was a very good point guard, smart, what you would expect from a coach's son.
Well, his dad is working as a color analyst in the NBA and not able to watch the game tonight, but he said his mom was going to be watching. Missed 2 at the line. The Panthers will bring it up in the final 45 seconds. Young to Benjamin. Pass down low and a turnover. Back the other way comes Reggie Jackson. Tucker flies down, reverses and scores.
Looks like Tucker turned his ankle a little bit, hobbling on the way back here. A lot of times guys hobble on defense and then they're cured on offense.
Yeah, as soon as they get the ball in their hands, it becomes a different matter. Another 3. That one's too strong. Grody the rebound. 73-56. Aaron Jackson will shoot a 3. Line drive shot on the weak side. Ramon the rebound, and we're in the final 10. Well, the Panthers will remain undefeated. And the second-ranked team in the country puts away their city rival, 73-56. And again, a very balanced performance, but when they had to go to somebody, they went to number 33.
No, they really did. And Gray makes it easy for them when they get into those kind of clutch times. A lot of credit to Duquesne. They fought, they battled. There are a lot of new guys, a lot of freshmen and JCs. Pittsburgh's too much for them.
The final 73-56. We will be back.
My husband and I are constantly on the go. What with work and shuttling the kids between ballet and soccer practice. Come on, kids. It's hard to find time to care for our lawn.
It's easy to overlook your lawn when you lead a busy life. That's where Scott's Lawn Service can help. Hi, I'm Ashton Ritchie with the Scott's Company. Just because you don't have the time doesn't mean you can't have a great lawn. Just give Scott's Lawn Service a call. A Scott's specialist will inspect your lawn and design a program specifically suited to its needs. And we apply Scott's proven products to your lawn. With Scott's Lawn Service, you'll never again face lawn problems alone. And of course, Scott's Lawn Service is guaranteed. You don't sign any contract, and you can stop the service at any time. Give Scott's Lawn Service a call. Get the convenience of a lawn service and the confidence of knowing it's Scott's.
For a free, no-obligation lawn analysis, call now, 800-238-1400. That's 800-238-1400.
Welcome back to the Peterson Event Center. Another win for the Panthers. They go to 9-0, and Jamie Dixon joins us. You had Greg helping you a little bit in the coaching,
yeah,
and he
Greg
got the
great.
win, right?
Yeah, he did. He was great. He did a good job. He was with us there and supporting us the whole way through like he always does. So thanks a lot, Greg. Appreciate it, buddy.
He is a season ticket holder, so he's here all the time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Duquesne briefly. They played a lot of perimeter offense, obviously, against you tonight. And they actually hustled and played pretty well, I thought.
Yeah, they did, and we knew they would. And you know, we saw them play Robert Morris to a one-point game. They could have won that in that last game. So we had that tape, and we knew how they were going to play. So you know, I thought we came out very, very aggressive early and executed well, made good decisions, passed the ball very well, but just didn't. Wasn't able to do it for 40 minutes. We're trying to do that, and you want to, but it's hard to do. But I thought we did a great job. I thought we were unselfish all the way through, which was a good thing. It's a good thing, a good sign for a team.
Jamie, talk a little bit about, you know, your formula. You have sort of 3 tiers of scoring. You have 3 guys in double figures, then you have a whole bunch of guys between 5 and 8.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a positive. How do you look at that?
Well, it's going to be different guys each time. I think we got the 3 guys have been pretty consistent, and they're getting a little bit more minutes, so that would lead to it. But then we've got some other guys who can get it going and get us in double figures. So usually we've had about 4 or 5 guys in double figures with 2 of those other 5 guys. So it's a good 2 of those other 6 guys, I should say. So it's a good rotation that we've got going there. We got out of it a little bit today. We had some guys in foul trouble, but we got to get ready for Buffalo and get ready to go up there and then do some things tomorrow. We'll practice tomorrow and do a little bit of getting ready for them.
All right,
what do you do? Excuse me, John. What do you do so unusual to contest shots? Your team does that better than any team I've seen.
Yeah, you know, we've really emphasized that. We did a great job down in Auburn contesting shots, and we really talked about closing out active hands and getting contesting every shot. We want to go the whole game without having not a shot uncontested. Unfortunately, we gave up a couple layups at the end there that were not part of what we want to do, but we'll get better at it.
Yeah, you're looking good. All right, Jamie, thanks a lot.
All right,
Greg, thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Keep it going. Panthers still undefeated. We'll take another break and come back with more after this.
Golf Digest is going to cure your slice now and for free.
And that's a guarantee.
Introducing the breakthrough video, Cure Your Slice Now, and it's free with your paid subscription to Golf Digest magazine. In this video, top PGA instructor Chuck Cook shows you the 7 key phases of the swing and gives you his proven method for better control and longer, straighter drives. And here's our guarantee. If Golf Digest and Cure Your Slice Now doesn't cure your slice and improve your game, cancel and keep the video free.
Golf Digest is your source for golf.
Every month in Golf Digest, you get easy-to-follow tips and instruction from the best teachers and players in golf. Information on the top equipment, the best places to play, thought-provoking commentary. You also get this removable Pocket Tips booklet. Call now. Use your credit card and get your first risk-free issue, Pocket Tips booklet and video free. You get 11 more issues for only $19.77. If your game doesn't improve, cancel and keep the video, booklet, and magazine free.
So call 800-543-6200. That's 800-543-6200. Call now.
No other weekly financial publication moves the markets like Barron's. It provides the knowledge, insight, and foresight that allow you to stay one step ahead. Subscribe now and you'll also receive Barron's Online with its daily columns, market analysis, and tools like the Stock Screener and the Stock Grader. Get 13 weeks of Barron's and Barron's Online, all for only $39.
Call now, toll free, 800-334-6600. That's 800-334-6600.
Panthers are 9-0. The students are heading home after another victory. Aaron Gray is almost too big to fit behind this table, but another double-double for you tonight. Very strong performance. They told us that maybe you weren't feeling too good before the ball game.
Yeah, I had a little bit of flu yesterday. I was able to practice through it, but thrown up a little bit last night. Had to sit out a walkthrough this morning. But, you know, I was just able to come out and help my team out as much as possible.
Aaron, you know, you're the hub of this offense. When you get a lot of the easy baskets, you make them easy because of your positioning. Talk a little bit about when things aren't going well for your team, how you think you help them the most.
Well, the great thing about our team is we have so many weapons. You know, we have so many offensive guys out there. And when one guy's out there struggling, you know, someone else is going to pick it up. You know, our offense is centered on the inside, and we make good passes out of the outside. So, you know, once, you know, if I'm struggling on the inside, I have all the confidence to kick it out to my guards, and they're going to make down shots.
Of course, then they start out shooting the way they did tonight. Makes it a little easier. You guys jumped ahead early, and you kind of, you know, it's tough when you're playing with a 20-point lead.
Yeah, you know, we just got a little excited, you know, kind of trying to make some spectacular plays, you know, trying to get on the highlight reel. So, you know, but, you know, guys did a good job doing what we need to do to win.
That's exactly right. You keep winning, you do what you have to do to win, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
You know, real excited.
Aaron Gray, another great performance. He had another double-double. The Panthers are 9-0. Those quick starts and those something-0 starts are pretty good. You guys are getting pretty good at it.
Oh, yeah, you know, doing a great job just coming out at the beginning of the season, playing real well. You know, Coach Jason has us ready, and we're just trying to get ready so we're prepared for March.
All right, good luck against Buffalo. Keep it going. And the Panthers win it here tonight. 73-56 is the final. They handled the Dukes in the city game. So another win for the Panthers. They go to 9-0. They'll be at Buffalo at 4 o'clock on Saturday. For Bob Wenzel and our entire Big East crew here at the Peterson Event Center tonight, I'm John Sanders. Hope you enjoyed it. The Dukes did everything they could, but Jamie Dixon is still undefeated in the month of December. His team came through with another win. Again, the final score. It's 73-56 Pitt. For Bob Wenzel and our crew, I'm John Sanders. Thanks for watching. Good night.